have you recently finished that project, or at least gotten 98% of it done? You've got the new flock, you've got the new herd, um, you've gotten your permaculture property uh, started to get it really set up. You've gotten through what I call the establishment phase, where you've got your earthworks and you've got your perennial plantings done. And in my case, a few years in, I've got my establishment phase, and now we're going into the just kind of the maintenance phase, or just living here now. Right? There's not as much brand new stuff to do to the landscape. It's set up and it's developing, and maturing, but there's a lot less of that startup project energy that's required. And the feeling that I get, and I suspect that you may also have that too, if you're in this situation where you've just made this big push and you got it going. You got the kitchen garden or whatever you got, and you sit down and you toast to your success of getting this thing set up. And then the next question is, now what? Now what? How do we shift from sprint to marathon, where you need to maintain your energy and maintain your focus? And it's a very, very different kind of approach. It's a different kind of mindset. It's appropriate. We change. We scale the mountain, and then, there's the plane. We got to keep going, making progress day to day, but in a different way. We're maintaining our systems. We're interacting with our systems. This is Ray from the Heart of Wren Song, and I want to talk to those of you who are at that point in your journey, and it may be with a permaculture project, or it may be with something else entirely. But the other morning I woke up, and I'm not the kind of person who thinks in four-letter acronyms or mnemonics or anything like that, but 4 words that began with the letter A came to my mind over the course of just a few minutes, because this is where I'm at now. All right, so I've gotten my establishment phase, and now it's kind of, well, how do I kind of get through the days? What am I focusing on now? How do I do this? What's my internal structure? And it was 4 letters. One was awaken, assess, accept, and adapt. Awaken, notice, be aware, observe what's going on, how things are going, because you may not anticipate everything. So just be alert, be awakened to whatever it is that's going on. And this could be something that you really like or something that you don't like so much. Then assess it. Look into it a little more. If it's something that you really like, just enjoy it. Make a video, take pictures, tell your friends, assess it, see what's going on there. You could find monarch butterfly chrysalis on your asparagus or something, So that's really cool. It's a really cool thing. Now, sometimes you're going to awaken to something and you go, oh, no, this is not what I wanted. And so you want to look into seeing, well, how did this get here? Best I can tell. What's actually going on here. You pay a little attention to it. And maybe you underestimated something, or some weed seeds blew in from the neighbor's property or something. So you assess it, and then you adapt. Okay, in my case, I've got to make some time each year, if I want to stay on top of it, to manage thistle, for example. It's like, oh, shoot. So I'm going to need to do something about that. So where's it coming from? It's coming from who knows where. All right. So this is just something that's going to happen, which brings us to the third A, accept. All right, this is going to keep, trying to come in, and, once it starts going to seed, it's going to be something I manage for the rest of my earthly life. And I accept that. It's not going to worry me. It's just something that I'm going to work into my maintenance schedule. Got it. And then adapt. Um, get tools, you know, do some research on managing it, and you can manage it. You know, that's not what this video is about, but you don't have to poison it. I'm not one to use poisons. So mechanical control, and also part of the assessment. Let's circle back to the assessment. Is, you know, what is its role in the environment? Seeds feed birds, and the plant itself can be used to make liquid fertilizer. You know, it's biomass. So fully assess it. It's like, yeah, it's very vigorous, and I can't eat it that I know of. Well, anyway, to my knowledge, it's not something I'm going to categorize as food, but that could just be from my ignorance. Anyway, so I, you know, assess it, I accept it. There's no point in getting upset about it. Here we are, and then I adapt. Yeah, so okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to work, and, you know, move on, and then go on to the next thing. So that's the approach that I'm taking. After the design phase, after the initial establishment phase, and things are kind of, you know, not needing as much babysitting, if you will, but still, you know, I'm still paying attention. There are still surprises, you know, there are still adjustments. It's a very complex system that I'm just helping along. I don't control. But what I can do is awaken, assess, accept, and adapt, and then just keep going. And it just builds, and it's, you know, it's a bit of a dance, you know, it's life. So I'm hoping that putting it in those simple terms, in those four components, might give you a little something to think about, to incorporate, and to make your life just a little bit easier. This is Ray from the Heart of Wren Song. See you next time.